Johnny Damon is one of the few players in MLB history to win the World Series with both the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Now, in his retirement, and he's busy, man. He's always keeping things going. He's focusing on bringing a nutritional edge to the next generation of athletes through his sports drink A-Game. Damon was inspired to bring a more natural alternative to sports drink name brands to market after young athletes in his home state, Florida. That's right, the Sunshine State. Due to the hydration issues and some of the tragic deaths of our athletes here in Florida and abroad even. And this is what started A-Game. And we're going to talk about a couple things, but Johnny Nitro is here. Johnny Nitro is here. Yes. Tell us
Great
about
to be here.
Tell us about A-Game and what you're doing there and getting this thing going.
All right. Well, A-Game is very clean. No artificial flavors, coloring, none of those forever chemicals, and none of those dyes that are being banned right now. So we have been clean from the beginning, and it works for you. Like none of these vitamins or essential minerals are fighting each other. So everything that's in here is going to help you out, and you always got to bring your A-game for everything you do. What you're doing right now, James, you're bringing your A-game. When I played baseball, I brought my A-game, and you always have to bring your A-game. Even being a teacher, parent, always do the very best you can at every single day, every single chance you get. And we're very happy about the direction we're going with A-game, and the taste second to none as well.
You are the CEO and chairman of the board, am I correct?
Yes, sir, I am. Yeah, and majority owner as well. And you mentioned the dehydration in Florida. Back in 2012, unfortunately, we lost a couple of football players. It's very hot summers here, as we all know. And we just wanted to have a cleaner product that helps, that will work. And yeah, we get it. Coaches can tell the kids, keep running. You got to get tough. You got to do all that stuff. But if you're not hydrated, you're going to be defeated by this hot sun we have down here in Florida.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, Johnny, too. The weather, the climate, all over the place, the whole country. I mean, we see that too. But hydration has always been an important part of sports, no matter what level you're at, or even it's just recreational and all. And I think what also is good about A-Game and bringing it now is we see even in our system today, natural products, a more emphasis, I think, the last 5-10 years, organic and natural and doing things like that. So how important is that part of it, especially during these times?
Well, it's very important. I mean, there's a new movement in America, too, of Make America Healthy Again. And we locked on our guy, Gary Brecka. He really loved what was in our drink, and he's going to be helping us endorse it as well. We also have Bo Jackson that's on the team, and we have the World Cup coming in a couple years, and Tyler Adams has been on the A-Game team for a couple years. He plays for Bournemouth now. He was a captain when Pulisic was down for a little bit. And we also had Caleb Downs, Ohio State national champion. And so we have a lot of great talent. Our team is working very hard. They're bringing their A-game, and hopefully soon we'll be everywhere. Just like you saw, different drink last year was everywhere without the taste, without the cleanness. So we're very happy that we're clean, and we're very proud of what we put together. The ultimate in hydration.
You're all in with this product. I'm curious because are there certain SKUs? Are there different flavors that go along with A-Game?
Yes, there are. This is citrus. It was my favorite from the beginning, but we have this dragon fruit plum that is just amazing. Black cherry pomegranate. We have strawberry lemonade. We have tropical, and our grape is outstanding. And we also have the zeros. We do sponsor Mr. Olympia, and the bodybuilders, they want 0 sugars in their body, and I mean, those guys are amazing. The training that they have to do, I mean, every single one of them, even the guys who don't win, they bring their A-game every single day when they work out. And I mean, and I'm getting ready to get after it as well because I've got a cruise. I got to head down to Miami soon to go on a Virgin cruise, and I want to look really good. So I'm getting after it now as well.
Might we see Johnny Damon on Shark Tank?
Well, we are at a very great spot. So I see what happens on Shark Tank. You know, you can make a little blunder and they'll carry it on forever. But we're in a good spot. We won't need Shark Tank, but I do love the show. I do love giving opportunities to people with creative ideas.
Well, Johnny, what a career too. Now we're going to go to the baseball side of this for you. And I mentioned the Red Sox Yankees. I watched that ESPN series, and it was amazing. There, wait, we'll show the rings. Wait, you can talk and show the rings. Hang on. So tell us about the series and just how much fun was it watching it?
Oh, well, it was fun watching it.
Show the rings.
Oh, yeah, it was fun watching it, but playing it, I mean, it was very nerve-wracking. Coming back from 3-0. I mean, Tim Wakefield silenced the bats in that blowout game 3, and it just seemed like the Yankees couldn't hit anymore game 4 through 7. So we were able to make the greatest comeback ever, and we won 8 games in a row. So that was absolutely amazing. And this ring, it's so important because like we brought a nation together. We reversed the curse. We did so many great things for the game of baseball. I mean, the whole world heard about it, and it was just a tremendous feeling. 2004, by far one of my greatest years ever on the field, but winning a championship, also getting married, and it's been 20 years and 8 kids now. So, very great year for me.
Wow, you're not kidding. 2004, everything was just going well, really well. It's interesting because for people that don't know, the Red Sox, first team to be down 0-3 in a best of 7 in that championship series and come back and win 4 straight. But what made it sweeter for Boston was it was against those rival New York Yankees. And that just added. And the year before, which they show in the series, Brett Boone hits the home run in game 7 for the Yankees to beat the Red Sox and go on. And by the way, play the Marlins. And we know what happened down here in South Florida when the Yankees played the Marlins. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I think out of our series, I mean, we were beating each other up so bad. I don't think anybody had a chance against the Marlins. I mean, during the season that year, that against the Marlins, I got 3 hits in the first inning. And we were whipping their tail, but I know they added Pudge. They added, Miguel Cabrera was ready to rock and roll. And
Urbina, they added him.
Yeah.
He became the closer.
They added some great guys.
Yeah, and Dutch Dalton.
Yeah,
too.
for
So,
sure.
I mean, they did a nice job. That team, they won in 97, which was great. People say, oh, they added all these players, spent all money. That's baseball. That's baseball. I don't care what team it is. That's baseball. That was awesome. But that 2003 team, I love that team. And they had several young players. You mentioned Cabrera. Then Mike Lowell, who came up in the Yankee system, was on that team. Luis Castillo. I mean, it was just so. And Beckett and Penny and that pitching staff, that starting staff was really good.
Oh, amazing stuff for sure.
Johnny, what was it like? I know you mentioned, look, you lived it. You lived that 2004 series. But what was it like to them watching it? Do you learn something from even watching it? Or do you see things that are like, oh, that happened? Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I did learn something because in game 4, I'm struggling the entire series until game 7. Routine ground ball that I hit, and I beat it out without a double play being turned. Well, when you hustle and you can extend innings any way possible, you give your offense a chance. And we ended up scoring 2 runs in that inning that I hustled down to first base. And that's more, obviously I wish I could have hit a 3-run homer, but obviously that's how it worked out. And those 2 runs definitely helped us out later on in the game. You gotta compete every single moment. And once again, gotta bring your A game every single time. Like people when they saw me play, I always hustled. I always tried breaking up a double play. I always ran into the wall because I know what the difference of making the playoffs is and not. I mean, it could be like, look at what happened to the Red Sox in 2011 when I was with Tampa Bay. You know, we were down 6 games heading into September. And just think about during the course of the year, if somebody didn't hustle, it came down to 1 game and everything turned to the Tampa Bay Rays side that year to make the playoffs. But yeah, difference of winning and losing games or minimum and making the playoffs now. You see these teams lose out on the playoffs by 1 game, 2 games sometimes, and you can look back and say, wow, if we woulda, shoulda, coulda. And I never like to look at it that way, but I understand the game, and that's why I cared so much about the game and was fortunate enough to obviously win the championships.
2003, they had the Yankee series. Yankees win. 2004 was historic. Red Sox hadn't won since, I don't remember, 80 years, 90 years, I think 1,000 years. They haven't won in 1,000 years.
Yeah, 1918, so 86 years, and they lost to the World Series with the Mets in 1986, and I was rooting for the Mets because Darryl Strawberry's the reason why I wore number 18. So, and just think that in 86, you add 18 more years to it. That's 2004. So my number 18, I don't know. I like to think of stuff in my perspective. So, yeah, then 18 years after that, they get back to the World Series, and you know, some things went our way, but our pitching staff got strong. We got clutch hits. I mean, Big Papi pretty much went into the Hall of Fame like right after that series, and so it's what a great series. Very stressful series, but you can see how when I hit my home runs in Game 7, there's no smile on my face because I remember what happened the years before, and yeah, the game's not over till it's over.
That is so true. Watching you run those bases, it was like, hey, this is business, everybody. Yeah, this is sport. This is fun, but this is business now. We're not going to let this get away from us. Let's go. And you guys just went crazy that game and scoring runs, Game 7, and took that. It's curious to me because obviously the ESPN series was about the Yankees-Red Sox, the big rivalry in those, especially 2004, but 2003. Not much was shown about them playing the Cardinals and sweeping the Cardinals. What was that? Because here you guys are, and there are a lot of professionals on the team, very professional players. But then going up in the World Series and just not letting down. Hey, look at what we just did. We made history being down 0-3. You guys went in there and finished the job. But how did you guys do that mentally?
Well, they had a great offensive team. We knew going into the series, like we were pretty much facing 4 right-handed starters who were pretty similar. So they started off with Woody Williams. There was a hurt Chris Carpenter. They had Jeff Suppan, and then they had Jason Marquis. So we were facing 4 similar type, really good pitchers, but they're throwing about 88 to 93 miles per hour. So we could adjust to all these pitchers. And like my first at bat of the game, I believe I had like a 12 pitch at bat that I turned into a single, and then we just got rolling. And then we had a couple miscues out there. We saw what happens when Manny dives for balls. You know, he cuts my ball off during the regular season, but somehow he tripped and he ended up diving for a ball and it clanked. Cardinals came back in Game 1, and then Mark Bellhorn was just a quiet hero for our team, especially Game 6 against the Yankees. But Game 1, he hits the tower, pesky pole off of Julian Tavares, and Bellhorn undersung. You know, I'd like to say the Central Florida boys came through, and that's why I was like upset at the very end, you know, because Tim Wakefield, Mark Bellhorn, Jason Varitek, and myself all are from Central Florida, and I would have loved for us to say we're going home, we're going to Disney World, but they had different things on their mind, you know. So, you know, unfortunately, but I'm still home. I'm still back in Orlando, still close to Disney.
Johnny Damon, here's the thing. If that was today, You guys would have been able to do that on social media yourselves. You could have been able to do that.
Absolutely. The game has changed, and the world has changed. And yeah, you can pump yourself up as much as possible right now.
It's so cool. All right, we're going to go into wrestling, but two things before we get there. Do you see the movie Moneyball?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Phenomenal movie. And John Henry's in it. Well, the character, I mean, they play John Henry, but John Henry's in it. He offers the GM for the A's, Billy Beane, like a tremendous amount of money to be the general manager. But Billy decides, I got family, my kids there, I'm staying in Oakland. Theo Epstein, who was the assistant, I guess, the assistant GM, takes over. And look at what he did with the Red Sox, then with the Cubs, and doing that thing, winning the title. But
yeah,
how interesting was that part of it? Did you know at the time that Billy was even offered that position with the Red Sox?
Yes.
And talk about John Henry, because he was with the Marlins. I always felt so bad with the Marlins because they forced him down here. And I was so happy for him that they got him with the Red Sox and he got to own them and you guys won.
Yeah. Okay. So first with Billy Beane going to Boston, unfortunately, Boston, the media knows everything there. So I heard that. I had Billy in 2001 when I was with the A's, and I know what he can do. You know, he crunches numbers. He tries to get the players who are underrated in certain aspects and puts them together, puts a lot of players together who can play multiple positions. And, great GM, Hall of Fame GM. And then we signed another Hall of Fame GM with Theo Epstein. I mean, we have a young kid that we're all older than, and we're like, this young kid's going to tell us everything, what's going on. He's going to hire us. He's going to fire us. He's going to give extensions to certain guys. So, yeah, it was a little strange, him being so young, but what we were able to do and put together, and a young GM who has the balls to trade your top player over the years and no more. And unfortunately, you have to do that. I mean, we see what's going on with Luka and Anthony Davis right now. I feel bad for Luka. I mean, 5-year, $345 million down to, in Texas, no state tax, down to 5 years, $219 million to California. A lot of taxes that go nowhere. And I feel bad.
I saw that with all the fires and everything and all what happened and all. What a mess there. But you're right about the taxes.
Yeah. So yeah, we get Theo, and he instantly brings a winner. So and John Henry. I mean, what they mean to the Boston area. I mean, they went in, bought the Red Sox, and they redid the entire area around Fenway. The clubhouse, the stadiums, all the stuff they brought, all the gadgets, all the cool things. He should be very well commended, and just a tremendous job. And, I never wanted to leave, but we know this game. There's a young center fielder coming up named Jacoby Ellsbury, where, I think the Red Sox really wanted me for 1, maybe 2 more years, but I couldn't leave all that on the table. And I wanted baseball to remain important, because a lot of times these guys head off to the West Coast. A lot of people don't watch the games, but people love the Yankees. And I always respected the Yankees, how they hustled, how they carried themselves. And it was a perfect fit. I got to enjoy a magical ride in Boston, and then going to New York, man, putting the pinstripes on. I know David Wells told me, if you ever had a chance to put the pinstripes on, do it. And when I had my conversation with George Steinbrenner, he just said, I wanted you for a long time. Like, he wanted to sign me back in 2002. And unfortunately, somebody didn't agree. Like, they kind of have a team that says, yes, I want him. Somebody did not. And, history got changed.
It all worked out for Johnny Damon, a.k.a. Johnny Nitro. And lastly on baseball, and then we'll get to the wrestling and get you out of here. Kevin Millar.
Oh, the best.
He's everybody's friend. He's not my personal friend, but he's everybody's friend. I like Kevin Millar. He was with the Marlins, enjoyed his time here. Johnny, having fun, but not too much fun, because he's a professional. He, to me, was the symbolic, the poster boy, poster player of how to play the game and have fun at the same time while navigating all the business side of it as well. And I just love Kevin Millar because he came out, played the game hard, wanted to win. But then it was like, okay, everything's cool. Let's get things going. All right, that's over. Let's go on. Hey, let's have some fun. It's just what are your thoughts of Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin's awesome. I mean, to be a really great baseball player and to also have the gift of gab. I mean, he never stops. We see him on interviews and he's doing the same thing in the clubhouse, and you're just going, this guy is high energy all the time. We couldn't have done it without him. I mean, granted, he got a big walk off of Mariano before the Dave Roberts steal, and then Bill Miller drove him in. But yeah, Kevin Millar was a big part to our team, and yeah, and we missed him once he was gone. But we got to hang out quite a bit when I played for the Yankees, and he was in Baltimore, and always had a great time with him, and still do have a great time with him to this day.
Johnny Damon, huge into pro wrestling. Yes, we're wrapping it up with the pro wrestling.
Absolutely.
Growing up, who were your favorites? Do you remember going to any shows when you were young? I know later on when you were Johnny Damon, the baseball player, the star player, you were at different shows and all. But first, when you were growing up.
Man, I really love Jimmy Superfly Snuka because I have that. My mother's from Thailand. I'm Asian, and I just thought it was really cool. Obviously, everybody loves Hulk Hogan. I think he's still the man today. I mean, what a great job he did at the convention. I mean, wow, just absolutely amazing. But you know my favorite right now? Alexa Bliss. You see how the crowd went crazy for her a couple of days ago? And
Royal Rumble, surprise entrance.
Absolutely.
She got the loudest pop of the night.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart and married to a great friend of mine. But just seeing how intense and happy the crowd was when she walked out, I mean, that's so incredible, and what a great feeling. Her first time back in a while. So it's wow.
That's crazy because her and Ryan Cabrera, and what two great people too. And you mentioned that and all. Did you get to see Alexa wrestle for WWE at any events?
Yes, I did. We got to see her wrestle up in Madison Square Garden, and it's just a tremendous sport. All these athletes out there, I mean, they give up their body. They're great at interviews and talking. And, I thought recently who's very cool is Johnny Nitro. Is it John Morrison? But
Morrison, yes, you're right.
Those pretty pants he wears and the jeans that they bedazzled and all that stuff. I think it's awesome. And when I heard there was a Johnny Nitro in the ring, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I'm glad we get to share the same Johnny Nitro name.
Did you ever think about, hey, maybe one day I'll be a pro wrestler?
I thought about it, and by the time I retired from baseball, I was 38, and the body wasn't moving around too good. And so I'm glad I did not do that, and I'm glad there's a lot of talent out there that I can still watch to do it.
When you were a kid, did you get to go to shows, or did you just watch on TV?
Man, we really didn't have any money, so or any way to get to the show, but I did watch it on TV quite a bit, and just absolutely loved it.
How much fun then was it? You're older, but how much fun was it then when you go to a live show? And Johnny, it just seems, Johnny Nitro, it just seems that a lot of celebrities, athletes, they want to get in the ring. They want to be part of the show.
Yeah, well, Shaq is 7'2" and 350 pounds, so of course he wants to get in the ring. But I think it's fun to do skits and all that stuff, and don't do anything that's going to kill us. And so if someone needs to hit me over the back with a chair, I may allow it, but I've got to make sure it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing, because they're trained professionals and their bodies take a beating. I think more people now know that nowadays. They just don't look at it like, oh, that's that wrestling stuff. Now people are understanding the physicality, and mistakes happen too. You're going at it. And a lot of these shows, especially TV shows, they're live. You only get one chance. And to see the minimal amount of mistakes that they make, or at least cover it up, to me, it's just amazing. Live TV.
Yeah, our friend got a number of concussions because like a lot of times, like guys like me or people coming from boxing or whatever world that wants to wrestle, we don't know how to wrestle, and therefore there's a lot of injuries that end up happening, mostly concussions, probably just hurt body parts regardless. But if you don't do these amazing stunts correctly, it's tough.
Well, now we're gonna wrap this up with TNA Turning Point 2005. You said you had a great 2004.
Yes.
I'm saying 2005 might be just as good. So TNA Turning Point, Universal Studios, TNA's doing their shows in Orlando, and AJ Przinsky, catcher. I don't know what the heck he's thinking. Johnny, I don't know what he's thinking, but he ends up getting involved. And then there's a big match at TNA Turning Point, and you've got Chris Sabin and Sanjay Dutt and Dale Torborg, by the way. Yes,
Demon.
who was the Demon in WWE. I mean, Johnny Nitro knows, of course, the Demon in WCW. And by the way, the son of the great Jeff Torborg, manager, player, rest in peace. What a great guy. I hear so many good things about him. But you guys are in that against the Diamonds in the Rough, David Young, Elix Skipper, Simon Diamond, Notre Dame fan. Simon, whatever. Hey, we're going with the U. I'm sorry, John. You got to do that thing there. But then you what was it about that match? Because you had something to do with home plate in that match.
Yes, I did have something to do with home plate in that match. I know it's been forever, but that's the type of wrestling I can do. And AJ loves getting involved. And I believe AJ just won the World Series that year. So AJ's obviously on a different high. So he thinks he's the toughest guy in the room. So it's fun to watch. Guys like AJ can do it. But, you know, me, I've got to take care of this pretty face. And
what was it like back then, too? Because later on, like you have 8 children. Do you show your kids that match and your involvement in that thing?
Oh, yeah, I actually brought 2 of my kids to that match. I only had 2 at the time, and they were 6 years old, so they got to see it. And there's times when me and Del Torborg would wrestle at home, and the hits that he has on me, and I had my daughter cry before, thinking that Daddy was getting his butt whipped.
How much fun was that time working with TNA Wrestling? And you end up giving AJ the home plate.
Yes.
I went and then he uses it, and then there you go, you get the win. So that was cool. But how much fun was that? And you look at that card. I brought that card up before. It was amazing because you had the Dudley Boys on there. Sting was on there, I believe, or at least he was there.
Yes.
Sting was. I'm trying to Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christian Cage. I'm looking at it now. Raven was there. Jeff Jarrett, Rhino. I mean, you had so many greats on that card, and there you are. I mean, how? Because you had a job to do that night. How much fan of Johnny Damon compared to Johnny Nitro were you that day? Were you getting pictures? What were you doing?
No, we didn't have camera phones back then. Remember, it's so I wish we had all these moments in my life that we could have got on the phone, but no, it's one of those things where you don't get to enjoy it so much because you don't want to mess up your little bit on here's home plate. so yeah, definitely need a lot of practice. Just how they carry themselves. Like I mentioned, they are great interviewers. They're great. They're great for the sport. And, you know, I look at wrestling as family entertainment. You go there and you have a great time and you holler, you boo, you do everything that you don't do at home. So it's, I think it's great family entertainment, and hopefully sometime soon I'll go see another match and hopefully take a few more of my kids.
And I'll wrap it up with this. Johnny Nitro, have you been to Hogan's Hideaway? Have you met Hulk Hogan? I mean, he's in Central Florida.
Yeah, I have met Hulk Hogan, but I haven't been to his hideaway. So maybe you can get me that invite, and we'll have a great time. I remember seeing Hulk Hogan drive a Ferrari 360 Spider before, heading to the Vinoy, and his head was sticking out of the car. He's a big boy. So what a great person that wrestling has had over the years, and he was great for Donald Trump.
And Jeff Jarrett, I have to mention Jeff Jarrett too, because he was obviously heavily involved with TNA Wrestling at the time. Now he's with AEW. But just like, was it them reaching out to you? Was it you reaching out to them? Do you remember? And then we'll wrap it up with that. Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty much Del Toro reaching out to me. He knows everybody, and he was the White Sox strength coach, so obviously he knows AJ as well. So they just put in a phone call. They know that I live in Central Florida, and they know that I would say yes.
Johnny Nitro can work cheap too. He could, just for that, he could work cheap. We're not going to get into payday, but I'm just saying if they need to.
yeah. I think they gave me a beer for my work that day, so it worked out perfectly.
Hey, too bad it's not now. It could have been Real American Beer, the whole Hogan's new brand.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Better than that, we're going to wrap it up with A Game. Tell us about where maybe people can find A Game or information about it, and then we're done. And thank you, Johnny.
Okay, you can go to drinkagame.com. We are on Amazon. In Florida, we are in Winn-Dixie. There'll be many other stores come this summer. If you're up in the Alabama area, we're Piggly Wiggly. Louisiana, we have a state contract. We're in Rouse's up north, Shaw, Stop and Shop, and I know ShopRite is happening soon. And we're in talks with a lot of other people. Always bring your A game, and this is clean, and it works.
Two-time World Series champion, really great guy, CEO, chairman of the board for A Game. Hey, and Johnny Nitro and TNA Wrestling. We won't forget. Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome. Thank you.